There we go.
Yeah, there we are.
Good opening.
Good opening.
Great opening. Great opening.
Good job, guys.
Good job. So we're live. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AARPG's Leftovers podcast. And so the basic premise of this is behind the scenes for the last 2 years, basically, we've kicked around a lot of ideas about doing something not gaming, discussing our processes, thoughts, how we feel about games, and being a collective of people who just can't figure shit out. Matt here planted the flag and said we're going to do it. I get to announce it because I came up with the name of Leftovers. So here I am. So I am your moderator / host, I guess. I don't know, for lack of better words, for this episode. With me is Chris and, of course, Matt. Our topic tonight, I believe, is Dragonbane, but we might go off to the right or the left on this, on some other gaming subject or something. Backwards, or talk about one of our friends' hentai obsessions or something like that. But
I would just like to say right off the bat, the fact that Sean's label is the moderator, I find that personally humorous.
I know. I put that in there to see you pick
You're
up
often our voice of reason.
Yeah, I'm the voice of reason. Sometimes. Depends on the game. Honestly, it depends on the game, as anybody who follows us knows. So with that being said, I will turn this over to, I guess, Matt, who might have a plan. I don't know. Or
might have a plan.
Yeah, might have a plan.
So as you might notice, so not everybody is on. So I wouldn't expect. So when we do this, we probably won't have the full cast on. Down the road, we maybe hope to get some guests on the show as well. Like I said, I think tonight we were planning on talking about Dragonbane, but depending on how many other people might show up, we might, sort of drift off of this topic because, well, that's what we do. We kind of drift off. A couple things just want to announce, just sort of as always, like, follow, and subscribe. We appreciate it. Helps us reach more folks and makes us feel good inside. And also just to remind everybody that we were nice enough to be nominated for a Crit Award in the Best Legacy podcast. So if you get a chance to go over to the Crit Award page, voting is on until 7 July. We'd appreciate your support. There's also a lot of other great creators out there who do all kinds of stuff, from artwork to GMing to best villain. Boy, that would be a great one to win. Best villain.
I don't know if we've had a best villain.
Well, I mean, we're already going to spiral off. So I don't know. I would put on the list Judas the Priest.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he was good. He was a villain that wasn't a villain, but not a villain, right?
Right. Sort of a weird, maybe not so just cut and dry as to where he stood, but I think a good antagonist. I'll put it that way.
That's fair.
But that is not what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about Dragonbane. So we were kind of hoping to have Malcolm here. We already knew
the Games Masters here.
I know the game. We really like to have the Game Masters
run the game. Instead, it's me and Chris with our smart ass comments about the game. But okay, come on.
Right. So in light of that, I think we are gonna try to stick on topic and talk about Dragonbane. And so we'll probably then approach it less from a GMing perspective than as a player's perspective. So I'm going to go through some of these things real quick. And let's see who we've got here. So I think we're going to do first is let's go ahead and talk about who you guys play. Right. So now we'll start this. Looks like this is Sean's character. So Sean, why don't you go ahead, tell us a little bit about your character. Tell us a little bit about him, his motivations, kind of what he's good at. And then maybe just without any spoilers, kind of talk about how you've progressed him in the game up to this point. And I'll say at this point in what we've released, I think that you guys have just made your first foray into the Tower of the Oracle.
Yes.
And then recording, we're much farther past that, but I think that's what we just released. So
a lot of towers,
take it away.
A lot of towers foreshadowing there. First, let me start by thanking one Jody Schaefer, who did the artwork for my character and everybody else's character here. A great person. him and
Well,
his partner to
he's a
celebrate
person.
like they celebrate like 31 years or 40 years or something. Him and Bells, I forgot,
Yeah.
but it's congratulations to them both. So I just want to preface this with, if you haven't played Dragonbane, and this is for anybody who watches it, it's not like a D&D, so it's very basic. So it's very basic rules. You have a basic character. It's a dungeon crawling, which gives you a lot of freedom. So what Baylor is, I re-rolled everything randomly. He came up as a dwarf artisan blacksmith who was haughty, very full of himself, high ego, and which fits for an artisan, right? And dirty. And at first we were looking at, and he is a good person. Thank you, Anthony Cupo. But he's but at first we thought he would be like this filthy pig, like Pigsty from Charlie Brown. But then I made it more of his essence, like, because he was a smith, so he had the smell of the forge. So I always smelled of sulfur and that. And in later episodes, you see me start playing that character up. I try, if you notice, to adopt a voice. I am not a voice actor. I'm not a voice actor at all. I tried playing a female character once, and I did such a terrible job on the voice. I felt terrible about it later. But I really enjoyed trying to do that, to play into it, because even though I've run one successful game, sort of, I've never been much of a DM. So that's the basics of the character. He's very supportive. His very best friend's Tyr's character, Dane. And you will see, even though he's very pompous about himself, he's very supportive of the other party. And you see him helping the other party. He's not trying to undermine or anything like that. Oh, love me some Dragonbane. Ferret Nuclear. All right, that's awesome. Anyway, I'm just commenting on the comments. So that's my character, Matt. Is that good enough? Chris, do you think that's sufficient? No, nobody includes Chris in the decisions. Do you think that's sufficient?
No, I'm fine with that. Like I said, I'm here to watch the train wreck. No, it's I think it's a fair approximation. Baylor is a fun character to play when you're not around.
I know that Malcolm does a hell of a job playing his arrogance. Like, I give him Malcolm credit. So some of us, I think, are better playing other characters, like for other people, right? You notice that?
Well, it's funny.
Yes.
Well, we have a real record of everybody. Everybody wants to play Kupo's characters, right? Like every game,
yes,
it's like everybody wants to play his characters more than their own. But it's funny. You talk about voice acting, and I have to definitely say, from what I've heard, he's definitely got some Van Mundegar in him. And if you can explain, yeah,
oh Jesus
Baylor's
Christ,
got some Van Mundegar
oh my fucking
voice
God.
in him.
So the basics of it,
yeah,
was our friend Malcolm, who was a great games master, who like what Tony for Anthony Cupo said, that when I die, please do my eulogy, because he said he could turn a turd into a rose by speaking about it, and you will think it's a rose. That's how well his speechcraft is. I made up a character, and he went with it. He was basically a German guy. His name was Ttrpg van Mundegaard. He had a German accent, and he spoke, "Hello, I am Van Mundegaard." And he was a fucking poof. He was like the middle, like Victorian area. I mean, poof. Wore poofy clothes. Looked like dashing, though, like a great Victorian person. He was his character had the automatically had that cleanse spell on him, so he never would get dirty in a fight. Blood would splash over him, guts, and he'd just walk out looking like a rose. He had a special bag. He had a wine thing that could create different wine, and he had a bag with cheese. So he was always offering people wine and cheese. Very supportive, very fun character to play. And he charmed the shit out of everybody. He had the claim to hospitality perk in GURPS. And he had the highest level. So every place he went, people knew who the fuck he was. There were books written about him. He didn't even know it. So I tried to bring up a little bit about that with Baylor initially, and by accident I started talking in early episodes like Van Mundegaard, and without giving you got to see the character in action to understand it, like anything. But it was a fun character. I do enjoy Baylor. I enjoy all the characters in our game, so I have a wealth of experience. Now, Chris also is a great voice actor. I think we should move on to him. Move on to them.
I was going to say, Van Mundegaard sounds like a Victorian version of Tyr, frankly. The wine and the cheese.
You mean like Favaracci? Fabrizio.
Yeah,
Hello.
Fabrizio, yes.
Hello.
Well, all right. Well, let's mentioning that. Let's see. We got to go through a few folks who didn't show up today, but here we
Let's talk
are.
about all of them. No, we should talk about all of them, Matt.
Well,
all of
we
them
can
that are
get.
here.
Let's get to the ones who aren't here after we talk about the people who are.
Listen, I'm the moderator. Damn it! And I said, okay,
All right. All right.
Go ahead.
We
Go
can
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
back.
Go to Chris's character.
Okay,
Chris-
fine. Well,
Chris the
I
Reach.
play Sigyn Nuatavanvartia, a
Mhm.
elf huntress. She is tired of the crowds in the city and was looking for a bit of adventure in something that's more nature oriented. She feels that the night sky has been lost under the crowded populations of cities in the mainland, and wanted to sort of experience nature again, in the much rawer sense.
God.
Chris also doesn't do voice acting because I know I sound like Norm Macdonald, only without the catchy punchlines, and nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, but you speak all the languages, so when you speak other languages, it sounds authentic.
That is
Like when
true.
you yeah.
But we're not going to get into that.
Mhm.
Nobody else understands it in the show, so what the hell.
So, so that's the basis for the characters. So, as the Dragonbane has a really interesting sort of system of advancement, right? So,
Yes.
when you're done with an adventure, it's kind of like you're
Fuck.
asked a series of questions like, did you play tonight? Did you try to play tonight? Right? Did you overcome? So, how's that been for your character? Like for progression, like so many other game systems, it's like, well, I go up, I go up a level, I get these things. I go up a level, I get these things. But there's not really a guarantee on that for Dragonbane that you're going to get
especially
anything.
with Sean's dice.
Oh God, I'm letting you finish before I talk about roll my character. That fucking fiasco. Jesus.
Baylor is average in every possible way.
So we ruled it. Matt, you weren't there for the dice rolling, so it was hilarious. So everybody's rolling their dice, guys, and people are, I got this great score and this stat. And I'm like, okay, here I go. Boom. 9. Boom. 10. My high score was like a 13. My low score was like a 7. All my skills are average. Some of our players have like hit the legendary stat or whatever, right? I not even close. I'm like 5 away because when I roll my advancements, I fail 3/4 of them. So Baylor is the most average, except for crafting and artisanship. He's good. Most average.
Yeah, that
So-
does seem to be one of those things where it's like it's an interesting system, but I almost wonder, like, right, you could have like all that and then like no reward, right? No advancement. But I do
it
enjoy
works.
It's one of my favorite parts of the episodes. And if people don't know, if you've listened to our Dragonbane show and you get to
Yes.
the credits and you're like, no, I'm done, thanks, great.
Go to
No,
the end.
We at the end, past all the credits, we do we do all
Skill
of the
increases.
rolls. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like its own kind of thing, but I'm fascinated by them. So how about you, Chris? How's it been?
Well, for me, it's been actually pretty good.
fuck you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got 2 heroic abilities. I'm on the cusp of a 3rd.
Yeah, fuck off.
off.
I have not. So, yeah, I had like Chris corrected me. I did my character, and he's like, "Yeah, I had a score at 3." He goes, "The lowest you can have is 4. How the fuck do you have a 3?" I was like, why not?" And but so to people to understand Dragonbane, after you roll your stats, so you got to roll under your stat to succeed, right? So if you have a stat of 11, you roll under to succeed. Once you, at the end of the game, when you add up your points, like if you played the game, if you beat an encounter without fighting, if you had to defeat an encounter without, there's a lot of ways if you played your character to get like 4 or 5 rolls. If you get a dragon or a demon, you get a roll. So you roll those skills, and to advance your skill, you have to roll higher than your skill match or higher. So that's so everybody understands.
Not match or higher. You have to roll higher.
I'm sorry. It's
I got screwed on that one because people
Yes, you did.
they were matching for a couple of games, and I get my first match, and
that's right.
and everybody's
You
like,
did
no,
fucked.
you got to beat it. Like,
It's
motherfuckers,
matching
we
and-
just did.
It's matching to do the skills for check,
Yes.
but you got to be higher. So if the higher your skill is great, but if you have a 16 skill and you're trying to advance it, you're going to be rolling each session to try and advance it. despite of that,
Yeah.
even though I have average skills, it hasn't stopped me from enjoying the game though. It actually makes it sort of fun. Especially when you only have like a 4 in swimming and you got to survive and you make that fucking roll. That is like, that's awesome. Remember when we all had low swimming and Nathan and his grade, okay, guys, who could
Right.
swim? I'm like, you son of a bitch. And we're all looking like, who's going to drown?
Right. No, it's interesting. So I hope you guys see this comment from Orchestorcus.
Yeah,
the slow power creep and limited HP gain was quite the adjustment for my players with Dragon Band, kept them on their toes.
Oh my God.
I will say one of the things about the episode that I think I just edited, but hasn't come out yet, is or maybe it has because I can't keep, they all run together. Is I literally like the fact that the group at one point in one of their adventures says, okay, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
We got to get out. We have to reassess, right? Like the first foray is kind of a disaster. People getting stuck. People almost drowning. There's a lot.
I don't think we've released our episode yet.
No, I know. I'm not being very specific. I'm just saying but I remember, and I think even Nathan said something afterwards, that this felt like old school gaming, right?
Yeah, it did.
It was really dangerous, right? Yeah. And so, I think that's, it could be a little jarring for folks who, like I said, and we've all played D&D and we all love D&D. It's just, it's a very different.
Not all of us.
Oh, well, maybe not all
anymore.
We've all played before in the past.
No, I like some ideas.
It is very different, and it does kind of keep the thing.
So I would like, before you go on that thought, Chris, you want to recount our first game and the reality we came to when it came to like life and death. Remember when we?
Jesus, yeah, the very first encounter where we learned how little value armor has and how much damage arrows do. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go up and sit here and fight, and I get hit with an arrow. I'm like, I'm gonna back the fuck up.
I was my character ran up like, because he's a fighter. Even though he's a smith, folks, he has a good attack and does good damage. And Nathan's rolling the attacks for what the fuck? The wargs were they? And he goes, oh yeah, every hit these guys do 2d6, and I had like 11 hit points. I'm like, wait a minute, and they get 2 attacks. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die. I got to make a new character. As I get hit twice by these guys, I'm doomed.
The first hit took me down. I think 13 hit points. It took me down almost in half in a hit that would have killed Malcolm outright. Nathan, who is the GM for that session, hit his character, knocked him to 0 hit points on
almost
one
died.
hit.
Yeah. Nathan's like, I'm going to kill myself. How do I? He was shocked he was killing himself.
TPK first night out, right? So, well, it is interesting. So we haven't got. I think we're getting about 2 episodes away from where I was able to do a cameo for like I think 1 or 2 episodes. I don't remember maybe it was 1 week. But I remember I was playing, so not shocker. I'll be playing at some point in Dragon Age, and I basically multiversing one of my D&D characters as a Dragonbane version. And I remember we had like an encounter, and I thought to myself, normally in D&D, I would have walked up, tried to negotiate for 2 seconds, and then started just like pummeling things, right? But I had to realize like, okay, they might stab me and kill me, right? So I had to play the character very differently than I might have in a system that's more forgiving, that I might have been more reckless. I definitely find I'm a little less reckless in Dragonbane. Little bit.
Yeah, I think we're actually more reckless in Alien, which is also a lethal system, than we are in Dragonbane. We're much more.
Well, fuck,
cautious.
it doesn't matter in fucking Alien. I 2 characters get smoked one after the other. Adventures. So I just was like, eh.
Well, it's like the real Alien universe is the Marines are disposable.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, you made the unfortunate draw of play. Well, wasn't it you played the officer at Geek Weekend, and then Tim played the corporate? Didn't you guys both end up getting? Or
you guys. Yes,
no, James was the officer.
The officer,
and
right? Okay.
Tim was the corporate, and I hated both of them, and we killed them after the mission.
You shot him right in the fucking head at the end.
Yeah, as we're walking down the hall,
we all saw that coming.
Yeah. Well, I didn't, because what did I go?
You passed out in a chair. Yeah.
Now, you fell asleep. So every Geek Weekend, Matt falls asleep in a key game. You know,
Yeah, I was playing the super chill sniper, right? So
I
Little
forgot who
too
I was
chill.
playing. I was playing some, but I forgot. I was playing some sort of fucked up character. I don't remember.
You were playing a Lance Corporal. I was playing the Sergeant.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I had to get
Um,
away from playing sergeants and leads because they for 3
Yes,
games
because
I
you have to
played
stop
that.
playing Sean Mahoney is the
That's
problem.
right. I gotta need you to do this. What are you doing? Get over here. Move, move.
Well,
There's no,
it can be hard, right? I was telling somebody at work, like when we did Twilight 2000, I played a character who had absolutely no military skills whatsoever, and there was a whole lot of situations where I felt like I needed
I
to
gotta
like
bite your fucking
jump
tongue.
in and like say like, "Oh, we should really do it," and I'm like, "Nope, can't do it." Pavlov has no idea what's going on, right? So sometimes it's hard to separate like,
What
what you
game
know
was it
from
we
what your
played, Matt? I
character.
said that to you. I was playing something and everybody was supposed to be playing and I was like, it was killing me watching you guys doing the dumbest shit. I'm like, I can't
I don't
deal with
remember.
this.
I mean, the fair part of that was in Battle Lords.
I could have been Battle Lords.
Oh,
Every
I
session you
bet it-
missed, they just did some
Oh my
totally stupid
God.
fucking
I
shit.
remember Chris goes, "So Sean, since you weren't here, you blamed it on me." They went around and fucked the whole game up, and I was like, "Okay." And I'm playing Pimplin Tech. I'm playing Foghorn Langhorn, the lawyer, like in a goddamn seersucker suit. And somehow I'm the voice of reason. I say this, sir. I say we need to go out there and get them chickens or whatever the fuck.
You're like Colonel Sanders with a sniper rifle, but
Pretty much.
your suit was the armor. Your armor was
Yeah.
painted like a suit.
It just came that way. I think who said that? I think Chris said it. He goes, "What are you wearing?" No, Tier's like,
Tier said that, yeah.
he said, "What are you? Is your seersucker suit on?" He goes, "I painted it on, sir. It's a way to be looking honorable." And we just rolled with it. I really enjoyed that Battle Lords game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was well run, Chris. You did a good job.
Well,
Well,
we're
now you
gonna
know why they were
circle.
the
Oh, go
first
ahead.
run. So now you know why they were the bottom scraper mercs for the lowest end jobs.
That's right.
That's right. I still, one of my favorite lines from that is in the last episode. I think it's the last episode where Sean goes to my character. "You are a self-correcting
Self-correcting
error."
problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Self-correcting
You are
error.
self-correcting error. I wanted to abandon him. I'm like, we need to leave the fort now.
I
What are we
thought
doing?
you guys were gonna abandon me. I was planned on it. I was gonna ride that giant creature till the space station exploded. But let's talk for a minute
we gotta go
about
back
the
to
most
Dragonbane.
important character
Oh,
in
miserable
Dragon
beast.
Bane.
The demonic
So,
fucking
what are you
goat.
guys thinking about?
flying donkey.
For that drawing, I gotta share this.
Yeah.
So I went to Jody with the rough description, saying, picture a donkey that is inherently evil and just exudes pure malice, and just do whatever you want with it.
Yes.
This is the final he sent me, and he says, I had to, I told him the cape was a fantastic touch. He's like, yeah,
is.
I had a couple of options. Yeah, I don't remember what the first one was, but the second was I gave him a Hitler mustache and hairdo, and that works too well. So
Yeah,
I had
no,
to go back
like,
to
no
the-
thanks.
Yeah.
No, but the malvoyant eyes and the cape, it's like, do we have a Nosferatu that's stuck in donkey form? I don't know what happened here. It's
Yeah, and just so if folks don't know, or if they've listened to multiple of our shows, Miserable Beast has kind of become, I don't know, what do you call it when something just becomes like a thread through our multiverse of stories, right?
it's like a link. We try
recurring
if we get a
theme.
ship
A
or we get a
recurring theme. Gosh, you
yes,
guys are
that's
so
good,
smart.
Chris. Perfect. That's perfect. It's a recurring theme. Nathan loves to slip it in because that's came from our first
Heyo.
game.
I know it's phrasing.
Well, the cock and doll, I mean, whatever. But
So that's where that name comes from.
Right.
yes, the cockatrice.
The
Miserable Beast first started out as a companion for my D&D character Darg, and then you'll find him referenced in Twilight 2000
Mhm.
as the Humvee. I think did you guys call
became-
the trailer, or
He
I know you
became
guys
the
have
Bradley.
with the Bradley at the very end, right? So it kind of
So
switched
in the band,
over.
our band, that was our lead song, "Miserable Beast," I think.
Right, had a song "Miserable Beast," but you guys didn't actually have him in there, right?
No,
And
we
so
didn't.
It's kind of moved on. I think the APC in Alien Arcturian, right? Wasn't that
I
Miserable
might have
Beast
been.
as
It might have
well?
been. I might have
Yeah,
been.
so-
I thought it
We
was the
tried slipping
dropship, but
in.
it could be the
Oh,
APC.
maybe Yeah,
You know
one of
what?
the
I
two.
think Tyr did slip that in somewhere. I forgot where. And Tyr likes
Again,
to slip it in
phrasing, Sean.
sneakily. Yeah. He slips it
Hey,
in sideways. The Velvet Overlord. Yes.
I lived underneath that in the bedroom underneath that man for a couple of years. He never did anything silently.
No.
Anything.
Let's not go that direction, Chris. You know too much. You know too much.
Darcy Tramer, that this is one donkey show I'll pass on. I
What do you
will
know
say
about
that-
donkey shows?
right? Just
Well, I mean,
this
if
one.
if they listen to us,
I guess if he didn't have the turnips, maybe it'd be okay. I don't know. But yeah, and Nathan's having real fun. Like this ever went, he's kind of changed from just being an honorary donkey to like he's kind of taken on some very
Ornery.
dark,
Dude,
very dark
He's like fucking.
undertones.
We're playing Oblivious. The characters were all void in this, but we're gonna like achieve the goal. I'm gonna put it out there. And this thing's going to transform. Now the power is mine. Like, what the fuck just happened? Starts talking to us.
Little hint for things to come without any spoilers of what happens. I just would like to tell everybody that at some point during this adventure, someone attempts to mind meld with Miserable Beast.
Oh, jeez, let's not talk about that event, please.
So I think that's everybody who's here tonight. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to just talk smack about anybody else's character
fuck yeah.
who isn't here.
Why the hell not? This is our turn. This is our turn. That's why we're here. That fucking Karen, Malcolm's character, that pristine little fucking harp playing fucking bitch. I'm tired of them like being so, I'm too precious to get in the fight. I'm going to sit back here and play for you. No.
Doesn't he have like 5 hit points or something?
Yes.
Seven hit
terrible.
points.
Karen is a great support character, and what's great about the bard, they play it's sort of like, I guess, in D&D you get the bardic inspiration. In this game, when they play for you, you can give your enemy basically a for lack of better words, a disadvantage or you an advantage in certain things. So that has saved our ass a few times.
So it was funny when Malcolm was rolling the character. We just all left our fates up to the dice when we were creating the characters, and he rolled this pale, pasty, sickly halfling.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was whether or not he was going to re-roll, and then we said, "Oh, it should be a Karen. Your stereotypical Karen," and he rolled with it.
Oh my gosh. So with the inspiration, like what kind of things you get, like hit points or like bonuses to attack or?
Well, when he does plays the harp, it depends on what he plays. He can explain it better, but he gets like influence and rolls and skill rolls, which you don't think about much when you're playing like a D&D or something, when you have all these little buffs you can get. But in this game, you don't have as many buffs. The magic isn't there. You got to rely on your wheels and brains a lot, and you got to use your tactics.
Not brains
a lot.
The character.
Not brains the character, but you really got to do that. And Malcolm picked a very smart character because as a games master, he probably had insight to go, hey, we're going to need somebody like this, because of course he read the character books. None of the rest of us did, because we like to go in blind.
Heaven forbid we would read the rules of the games that we play.
I read basically.
Strong suit.
Yeah, I read the basics of it, but until you play a game, you don't know, right? So,
right.
And Malcolm's characters are always very creative. Like the backstory, we did you guys will see we do one shots, and we build off them. And Malcolm's great at building off stories, and of course his little descriptions of our characters, his what I call backhanded compliments, where he says something that's really not a compliment to you. And you're just like, what? He goes, oh, and then he plays his harp and goes. So that's what I think about Karen, Malcolm's character. Chris, you got any comment?
No, it's much the same. She turned into a great support character whose boons gave us a lot of help in some sticky situations.
Yeah, we'd all be dead.
But character-wise, Sigurd doesn't really care for her attitude.
I know. Baylor doesn't mind it because Baylor recognizes that's sort of him.
Yeah.
So
Baylor is also Army,
this
yes.
so Baylor's the same way, and the only person he really respects, not that he disrespects anybody, is Dane. He said because everybody else is like, oh yes, I could have done that better, with the bow, but bows are beneath me, and just that sort of, and whatever.
Well, it was a good character class to pick for someone who's also GMing, because the bard sort of like this character, it's great for support, but if Malcolm's running, it's very easy for him to go, oh, Karen plays this song, and then gets back to GMing without really feeling like, you guys are getting a buff, it's supportive, but he's not really driving any critical, like definitely not going to be the front line, taking action in battle with like 5 hit points. So it's a great way for him to have that character to play when Nathan's running, and when he's running. Very simple.
We don't get
play this song, right? Yeah.
We don't get the use of Brains, who's one of our bricks when Nathan's, because he's trying to, he'll bring him in if we need to. I don't know if you've seen it this crazy, but he does try and hold him back so we can do the adventuring, which I appreciate most of the time. But sometimes we need that.
I don't know do we know what Brains' hit points are? Because I don't think he was that durable. I think he was just a good hitter.
No, he's as durable as me, but Nathan gets fucked up in this game, like more than anyone.
Just in this game?
Yeah, just in this, like all games. But he's not playing like Echoes, who runs in our other game, who runs in and frays himself into the leap, like no hit points going in fighting first. Brains got some.
Is Brains a rogue, right?
Yeah, but he's he's got some good hit points. He's up there.
He's got some good hit points, but I don't know if he took, like, I played a rogue at Gen Con last year, and they've got like these cool, like, where you can like bypass someone's armor and all that, which is great. But then like you get like some total debuff to like your defense. I can't remember what.
Oh, really?
Or whatever.
I'm not. I'm not familiar with that.
So you really put yourself out there sometimes when you're doing the rogue to like get that great stab in there, and then think if you don't kill it, so maybe that's why he's getting mauled. But yeah, no, I wish I didn't put his image in this packet, but we'll have to talk about him in a future one. But yeah, I love he's got like the wooden plate on his head, But who else do we not talk about
Captain Codpiece? Yes.
Did Tyr ask you, did he specifically say that Jody, give me a giant codpiece?
No.
No.
You don't know Jody like we do.
Yes. Yes.
So Jody knows Tyr very well. And so again, we just gave him the description. He's he's a young scholar. Do with that what you will. And yes, he is not wearing leggings in that. That's just the codpiece and legs.
Jody made it like as gay as possible. Yeah, basically, because I think he told Tyr that, because and because the look and everything, he tried to incorporate one of Tyr's. That's actually a look that Tyr would give occasionally. I won't say what situations.
I just basically see Tyr at Penzig.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Back in the day,
yes. That's what I just see Tyr at Penzig. He's like, this is kind of how I picture him. Except he'd have much
Tyr's
more flowing hair. Right.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the long flowing.
In those days, yes.
Oh, this picture doesn't do him justice at Penzig back in the day. Oh my God. It's like,
I have a story about Tyr, but I will not share it here.
No,
I have lots of stories about Tyr, but I will not share it.
But I will. I'll share them all. Let me tell you about the time I was at his tent, and we're not going to talk about that. Nothing bad, folks. Nothing bad.
So I guess.
All complimentary, just not suitable for. Yeah.
But Dane's character, Tyr Scholar. You want to start with this one, Chris?
Oh, so again, this is one that Sigyn doesn't really know how to take. It's like he wants to be an adventurer, he's just not good at the adventuring part.
That's good. That's good. You're close there. He has this little problem remembering things, right, Chris?
Yeah, problem remembering things. Always wants to have the answer for a situation, but spends all his time looking for it. I wouldn't say he's not a risk taker, because he just does absent-minded shit that gets him into trouble.
Yeah. Tyr plays his characters to hell. So Tyr's character, Dane, is absent-minded, for everybody listening. And he gets distracted. He's also into books, and everything's about knowledge to him. He'll take unnecessary risks to get a book, for lack of better words. Good bow person, and some good skills. But he plays the character well, and as Baylor's best friend, Baylor thinks the world of him, of course, because Dane only gives Baylor compliments on everything because Dane's a very, very complimentary person. He's just a good character, solid good. You'd call him a lawful good character pretty much in any other game. But he is, but he's super knowledgeable and not deceptive. At least to our knowledge, he could be evil. We just don't know it. But because some of Tyr sometimes pull those curveballs. He'll play a character like you think he's only up and up, then he's like, where's the scepter of doom? No, I don't know what happened to it. Why is your eyes glowing red, Baylor or Bob? Or is like whatever Tyr's character's name. But yeah, so the artwork, of course, is great. It captures, I think, the character well because he does carry around the book in a bow. So
but the book helps, right? So there's like mechanics wise, right? So it reminds me there was this episode of was it like, I think it was Fantasy Island, where the guy was, or I don't know what shows. Well, it was the guy was like, I've never done this, but I read about it in a book, right? And I know later there was a thing like, I haven't done this, but I stayed in a Hojo or something like that. I can't remember what the hotel advertisement was, but there was this. It was like one of those old show like Fantasy Island. The guy kept saying, "Well, I've never done this, but I've read about it in a book." And can't he like if he doesn't have a skill?
Yes, if he doesn't have a skill, yes. Chris, if you want to touch on it, you can.
No, I was trying to remember what the skill was called because I don't have Foundry up, so I don't have the manual. But yeah, so he can basically the skill was adaptive, I believe.
Yes, I think it is.
He can take the information based on one skill and apply its benefits or bonus to another skill based on information he's learned or read. Yeah,
so a skill he has already that's high, and he reads the books and he spends 3 willpower points, and for a bit of time you will have that ability.
He has to say how he can justify that adaptation.
And the first time I think he used this was hitting on a girl in the bar. Yeah, pretty much. He's trying to pick up a girl at a bar. That's what his character did.
Which he was very right. He'd read about it, but had never tried it before, right? Or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah. So that's kind of a cool aspect. So I'm just gonna. So I don't know. We'll see. I have a hard time figuring out how many people are out there. But for those who are listening, like if you've played Dragon or watching, who knows? What's been sort of your favorite class that you've played? Out there, like what is, I think it's classes, right? So you do have classes.
Yes,
correct?
There are classes technically.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know.
There's
careers.
I know. I think I know. I'm not GMing, so I definitely haven't read
they call them professions.
Too much.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So if you've played, what's your profession, and what's your favorite profession if you've played more than one character? So we'd love to see that in the comments.
Also, what kin do you like?
Oh yeah, so picking your kin, what kind of things does that change in the game? Like, does it give you like an access to certain skills, or
it does give you different starting abilities. So you do get different like for the elf, I have inner peace, which allows me to heal 1d6 plus 1d6 willpower on a certain rest, which is useful if you have any willpower based skills, which I have a couple. And I think Quiverwing, our mage, also has the ability to recover will. I don't know what the other ones are. Again, I should just have Foundry running so I can look all this stuff up.
There we go. There's our tech guy.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so for folks who are looking to run this, I know Chris is our smart Foundry guy. So what are the resources like out there for Dragonbane on Foundry?
Foundry is supports Dragonbane very well. The Free League folks have actually done a very good job of putting all the stuff into Foundry. You can generate your characters. You can generate adventures off the cuff. Just they have rollable tables where you can create the adventures you want.
Oh, really? So you can just like log in, create some characters, and then just start literally generating like play right
yeah,
there.
you can start your whole adventure without even having anything to do with pre-planning. You just do it right there.
Something we're very familiar with.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, we used Foundry for Aliens,
Alien.
right?
Yeah.
Arcturian, right? And I think
Arcturian
up to that
Apocalypse.
point, we've done a mix of things like just like simple as Google Slides, and then Roll20. But yeah, definitely Foundry. If you've got some skills at working with that, it seems like a really robust system or setting. And I know a lot of companies are working to get their stuff in there.
And there's a lot of people who do mods for it. There's a gentleman called who's I don't know what his real name is, but it's called Bither. He makes a set of mods for Dragonbane that help GMs run the whole show, which is nice. It makes it super easy for even a novice GM to play with things.
So generally, I would say this with Free League, just from what I've heard from you guys as an observer, with you, Nathan, Matt, all talking Free League. Usually, there's a lot of, because it's not a mainstream like D&D thing, and there's a lot of people supporting playing with it to make it better. Is that a fair statement? Especially with like Dragonbane, yeah. And it's not to say you can't take Dragonbane and advance it. I mean, character creation is easy, but you're at the will of the dice, right? And the world's pretty basic. I think you could expand upon it if you really wanted to, right?
Oh yeah,
so
totally.
Yeah, so you can do things with the characters. Like I got my character right here, and this is it, guys. It's a freaking sheet. That's all it is. It's very basic. You don't need really much more than this. If you're a mage, you need a mage sheet, but you got 6 skills and some stuff, and you go. It's and it's fun, because it gives you freedom. I think like compared to like D&D Beyond, which by the way, they're getting ready to roll out their new fucking thing. I gotta add whatever the fuck that is. Not that the system now isn't good enough or complicated enough, but there's almost too much shit in D&D. There's too much fucking variety now. So everybody, I want to play a fucking blah 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 with a goddamn crystal dick. All right, and I'm like, what? Oh, it's right here. I got it. Oh, give me a fucking out of here, man. Come on, just whatever happened to us playing a fight, right?
Blah,
Come
blah,
on.
blah, crystal dick. There's the episode title right there.
Yeah.
Well, so
welcome to the lesser known Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. Yes. That was the 5th movie that got canned. They made it, never made it out. Indy, look at his cock. Not now, tut.
Okay. Only took us 43 minutes.
First chicken of the night. Everybody drink.
That's right. Oh yeah, let's get some little vodka here. So.
Yeah, I got some clear it's some water.
It's water. Just say it's water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So funny you say that. So let's say okay, what would you tell folks who've primarily played other systems, and let's just say Dungeons and Dragons primarily for like a fantasy game, but they're thinking about Dragon Age and they're thinking about what are some things you learned about the system that you would Dragonbane, yeah, sorry.
Dragon Age is a video game.
See, that's what I get. One drink and it's already
this is why I'm the moderator.
I'm Janatlas cubing already. So
wait, say that again.
But I said it gelatinous cube.
There you go.
There we go.
But so if you've been playing D&D, but you've seen here's this Dragonbane game, what would you tell GMs and sort of players, like if you're considering giving it a try, going from something like D&D to Dragon? As I knock my mic over, look, I can't drink and do anything. What would you say? What are some considerations or things that you would want to tell them? Hey, you should think about this or be prepared for this, or how do you go into trying a new system that is fundamentally got some very big differences to it?
I'll throw that to you first, Sean.
Oh, thank you. So in any bigger system you have there, like Savage Worlds, D&D, of course, Pathfinder, just to throw out there, you have a whole bunch of like history and supplements and things like that. Palladium, like Rift system, any of those. This is very basic. It's very basic. You don't have that many, I'll call them career paths for lack of better words. And it's all about going out and doing some adventure. And it's pretty simplified how you get like, you're not, it's not about just fighting the big bad. Sometimes it's about tricking the big bad to get into what you want. It's, it's there's an innocence, for lack of better words, to it. Like, it reminds me, if you've never had it, like, I grew up with a basic D&D set. I grew up in the 70s. I got the second box with the blue box and the red box, and it had the basic books in it. And you can only play a fighter, a cleric, wizard, thief, and mage. No, and yeah,
Like
that's it,
elf
right?
was a
Fighter. There was a
class,
fighter.
right?
A fighter. Oh
Orc
yeah,
was a
fighter.
class, right?
Yeah, these were
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
These were people. You only had a few races, and there's some races were, lo and behold, were factually just evil. There's none of this. Like, well, on Wednesday they're good. They were evil. All right, and it was a simplicity that was sort of cool. This touches on that. This touches on the simplicity. We have bad guys in the game. There's a clear villains in the game. There's clear good guys in the game. The scenario set up, give you an option of doing things peacefully. You can't always do them peacefully. Obviously, you're going to get attacked, but there's risk, and and there's punishment, which I do enjoy. There's punishment for playing stupid, for doing stupid shit. You can die, and that's if your game master, most game masters are pretty decent. It's almost like it's not as bad as Twilight 2000, which can be very unforgiving if you play it by the rules, or so friends at Dork Day can tell you. But it's but to me, that's what I enjoy about it. And you could develop it does, but it doesn't prevent you from developing your character. You can develop a character and have fun with it. It depends on what you want to do. If you just want to go hack and slash, you can try that. You're going to die, but but you can roll a new character up quickly. But I enjoy it, and that's the joy I get out of it. Besides the fact I'm playing with my friends and people I like, so that's the other piece of it. We play off each other's characters and personalities, and it's not we can't help but fuck with each other about things we've done, and it all bleeds into the character, and that's the best part about it. So the system I like. It's innocent to me. It's more innocent and reverent of the age when gaming was much more not as complex, for lack of better words.
It's funny you mentioned, and before we go to Chris, like death, right? So I would say over the decades that I've played, death has gone from expected to like, how do you
Maybe.
avoid, right? Or how do
Or
you
you can
avoid?
die
There's
and be
really-
resurrected, like, right?
Right. Well, there's a lot of like, when people are very invested in their characters, and you have a campaign or whatever, people put a lot into their backstories. It just seems like over time, like when we played before, you went in figuring you're gonna die, especially if you're the wizard that rolled like 2 hit points, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so this does, and for some people, that might not be their thing, right? But I will tell you, there is a little hint of danger is good, and the fact that the character creation system is very easy. It's very easy to bring in another character, and the very kind of open setting that Dragonbane presents, it's very easy to bring people in. Okay, so Chris, how about you? You played D&D. Did you play GURPS?
I've played GURPS once or twice. I played Traveler once or twice. I actually started playing with like complicated, super crunchy systems, and so when I got to D&D, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
But I found actually D&D overly rigid, and because you're stuck with
In the old days.
class. Yeah, you're stuck with the classes. They're
And the
all
alignment, Jesus.
Yeah, you can't really be a wizard who is also a rogue very easily. If you do, you take severe penalties to your character growth as related to the rest of the party. Here, you can do what you want. Yeah, you might start as a elf huntress with certain skills, but if suddenly I gain the heroic ability to wield magic, then you better believe I'm going to light some motherfuckers up with some lightning, that kind of thing. And that, coupled with the fact that it's so easy to just jump into, I think it's a really great start for people who haven't really done a whole lot of TTRPG games in the past. It's a great introductory to it. And for people who've done it for a long time and are just want to jump in and out of something new, it's a fantastic way to go.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'm really enjoying it. I agree with both you guys, and I like that. So it's funny for me since I've been playing, I've been sort of applying because there's nothing in the rules that says that you can't. Now the only thing is like if you roll a 1 or a 20, right? So a demon or a dragon or a dragon or a demon, right? You get to roll against that skill. So if I critically succeeded or critically failed at stealth, that's an additional roll I get to do at the end of the session to see if that skill goes up. And I do like that a lot. That's that sort of succeed and fail forward kind of approach that Dragon Brain has. But there's nothing in the
Dragon
rules.
Brain.
I know. I again one drink of vodka, right? So there's nothing in the rules that says what skills you have to roll against. But I myself have been applying as best as possible a kind of like, what did I do? Right.
Yeah, I think we all
you don't
have.
have to do that. Right. You don't have to. There's nothing that says you have to. But I think that's kind of fun too, is like, well, if your character spends a lot of time swimming or spends a lot of time climbing or spends a lot of time doing something, that they would get better at that. And you're right. Like you said, you might start with a concept, but as this adventure unfolds, you might, well, take Dane as a thing. He's got all his book smarts, but I've been listening. He's decided to learn how to actually fight, right? So that's
Right.
an art of him teaching himself, trying to learn how to be a competent fighter, right?
Yep.
It's not easy because every time you roll, and the higher you get, like it's harder to advance. And so, just like in real life, it's very hard to gain expertise in a skill. And so it's interesting to watch that journey. It kind of allows you, if you want, you could min max, right? You could, this idea of like, I'm going to improve at what I'm doing, at what the world is thrown against me. And so I think that's kind of a cool concept that you don't get in D&D because for the most part, there are a few choices. Right. And I'll say there's also Pathfinder, which we've all played now, a couple times at Geek Weekend.
Actually, I've never played Pathfinder.
You never played
didn't
Pathfinder?
play in James's game?
No, I did not.
He wasn't there.
He's been running a Pathfinder dungeon crawl for the last couple of years, and we're really enjoying it. We just none of us.
But one thing I want to touch on real quick about the skills and being able to roll for skills that you didn't necessarily use in the session.
Yeah.
We only play the characters, an hour or 2 hours a week, and you got to think about all the other time they spend together. What are they doing in that time? Of course, you should be able to practice all that other stuff in the course of your daily adventures that we just don't touch on the game. So it makes perfect sense that you're able to do that.
And every game I miss, I don't get to advance my skills because we're going to roll the next session. I might not be here. We're going to roll the next session. Fuck you.
That's why I keep hash marks.
I know. I should.
Yeah.
I should. But
gentlemen, we are drawing to the close of the hour. I haven't seen any comments. I don't know. I can't tell if we've driven everybody out or not.
No, we still have a few.
we have Steve. They're just quietly watching us, and
I don't
they're
know.
impressed with Chris.
So you know what we're gonna do? We've got a few more minutes.
I saved the show. I know.
We just open it up? Thank you for showing. All right. If it had just been Sean and I, we were gonna
nothing but
gonna
jokes the entire night.
we were gonna call it canceled in 30 seconds, right? So,
we renamed this canceled in 30 seconds.
If anybody who's online has any question for Sean, Chris about Dragonbane or about
anything,
podcasting or anything, this is definitely it's open forum season or open forum time. Once again, too much vodka already.
And if there's no questions and there's just nothing but uncomfortable silence, I'm just going to stare at Matt.
Yeah, or us, all of us together.
That's perfect. That's the right way to look. You're doing it right.
That's right. I've heard that maybe so just a reminder. Oh wait, there we go.
Oh, we got
still enjoy. So
cool. Any questions?
Darcy, do you have any questions for them about Dragonbane? I don't know if you've ever played or anything about podcasting or anything. You can ask them almost anything, and they will most likely come up with some sort of terrible answer. While we're waiting to see if anything comes in, I just want to remind folks as we're running out of time that our summer stream is going to continue next Tuesday night, starting at 9 p.m., where we'll have episode 2 of our Coriolis, the Great Dark. We had a good start last week where we introduced the characters and sort of kind of threw ourselves into the mix. I will tell you, it's funny, when we were planning, I figured that all of the introduction to the system and the introduction to the characters was going to take like over an hour, and then we'd take a short break, and then we'd come back and maybe we'd get into some of the adventure. And we got through all of that, and I looked at the clock and it was 30 minutes in. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta run this.
Yeah, you actually got to run,
tonight.
jackass.
Yeah,
That's only in Nathan's games we're taking out of fucking. They take the whole night.
But now,
Running the
actually,
game
since
system.
we're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about,
Thanks,
since we're
Darcy.
talking about Dragon Bane at the moment, I do want to say Free League is currently having their summer sale, and the Dragon Bane core set is half price.
ooh, half price. I thought I saw something for like 20% off everything, but okay, so you're saying half price for that?
Yep. They're
Oh,
showing
that's good.
$51.35 on their core set for the regular price and $25.67 for the sale price. So that'd be half.
That's
it's
awesome.
not just Dragon Bane that's on sale. It's a lot of the other ones, including
Yep.
Coriolis.
They do a summer sale, and I just look. They don't sponsor us, but they've been super great.
it's true.
We discovered Free League when we started playing Alien and Twilight 2000 and Alien, and they've just been great. And they've got great IP. They've got great products and a good system, and they've got like amazing. Like we have more things from them that we want to play than we've got time to play.
Yeah.
I think we're finally hitting Coriolis. I think maybe at Geek Weekend this year, I think Tim is going to run a Walking Dead, which I'm super
Yeah, I
excited
wanna do
about.
that.
I've had a chance to read through the rules, and it's very cool.
They have Mothership
Um,
too, right? Doesn't-
Mothership, yep.
Yeah, you know,
we-
I tried running that. Yeah.
Turns out other people were more interesting.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I think you
I
got
still wanna
ambushed by all of our. We had Dork Day folks from Dork Day podcast
Pink Faux Hawk.
Dork Day
and Pink Faux
Hawk.
Hawk. Yeah, so anyone out there who also, if you've got you're looking for podcasts, Dork Day primarily does a really good, very serious Twilight 2000
Yeah,
sort
it
of
is
post
serious.
World War III. They've also got some other projects to include. Their most recent is a mashup with Dork Day and Pink Faux Hawk, who is a second edition Shadowrun podcast. They're doing a mashup. So yeah, so shout out to them. Check them out. They're pretty awesome. And then I guess as we close out here in the last minute, I will just go back and circle around. If we have entertained you, if we have made you chuckle, please go to our YouTube site, like, follow, subscribe, so that again we can reach more folks. And also don't forget that between now and July 7th, if you would be so kind to go to the Crit Awards webpage and go ahead and cast your vote for us for Best Legacy Podcast. Any closing words?
Blah blah blah, Matt. Thank you. You just fucking killed it at the end. I want to thank everybody for all your support and putting up with our nonsense. I appreciate that.
So
This
much
is all
nonsense.
self-flagellating. This is Matt's retirement plan. He wants to be rich and sit there like some of these big podcasters. Him and Nathan, by the way, are fucking slave drivers. They teach us like fucking people in China, locking us in fucking factories and just working us to death. Mousy Matt's what I call him.
Yeah, Mousy Matt engages in a form of torture called PowerPoint.
Yes.
And Nathan is just a horrible person.
Yes, he is.
Look,
He's
Nathan's
just a
not here
horrible
tonight, but
human being.
Nathan's a workhorse. He does all the
Oh, God, he does
editing,
everything.
sound design. Like, listen, which I gotta say though,
Up with so
this has
much
been-
shit.
I know he puts up with us every week. So, hey,
Well, we got to
are
keep his
coming to
ego
a
in
close.
check.
That's
So.
right. No. The more ego is, the more. Yeah, I know. Well, look, hey, thanks everybody. This was the first instantiation of Leftovers. We will be back next Thursday night. We'll have hopefully some of the different crew and different topics. But if you want to see us, come please join us. And like I said, next week we've got next Tuesday we have another live episode of Coriolis. I think we're also dropping our next episode of our pre-recorded Dragon Bane next Tuesday.
Yes, we are.
So for those, just so you guys know, we are. What are we on? Like we're dropping like 12, 13 or 14. But how many are we in? Almost.
The
30
numbers are
episodes?
off. It got fucked up. We don't even know.
But there's like So let me tell you, there's a lot more Dragon Bane in our future. But again, thank you.
I'll say, if you want to
all.
remember today, our jokes 6 months from now will be fucking amazing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I want to thank for being the moderator and coming up with this beautiful name. I want to take credit for this is the greatest podcast ever. No,
there we go.
I
All
want
right.
sloppy
Well, hey,
seconds.
Yes.
all right, everybody, thank you, and we are saying good night. All right,
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Take care now.